Good morning. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Stroke, staying clean. Excuse me, I'm trying to get myself together. It's been a very busy morning this morning, and I'm glad that you're here. And we're going to talk about it's best we do it now instead of later. And what am I talking about? Well, the thing is that working in addiction and dealing with recovery, when I was in my active addiction, I was engrossed in it. I had to have it. I did whatever it means to get what I needed to get. And when I would put that drug, which was cocaine, inside of me, and what it would do, it would boost my endorphins so high that I enjoyed the pleasure of the feeling of the drug. And in your mind, your body, like your mind, likes to keep everything balanced together at the same way. So when the endorphins got this high, then my body would stop producing endorphins to try to balance it out. And what I did to myself was I damaged my own brain. And when we look back at our active addiction, we must realize that the abuse that we do to our brain comes from our addiction. And we mess up our minds. That means we don't look at things the way they're supposed to be because we have done damage to our minds, to our brain. And that is the actual truth. And the interesting thing is that children that are in active addiction at a young age, and they're adolescents and they're in addiction, then their brain has not even fully grown to the potential that it's supposed to. And their brain is being damaged by their abuse of alcohol or drugs. So a child that gets more damaged than an adult by being addicted. So today we're going to talk about, instead of suffering through the abuse of addiction, let's get help now. Because if we don't get help, we will end up in jails, institutions, psych wards, or death. They're going to happen, no doubt about it. In between the homelessness, the stealing, the lies, destroying ourselves, our family, constantly destroying our bodies until our bodies can't take no more. We find ourselves OD. A lot of people OD in bathrooms, alleys, restaurants, over friends' houses. And when you are in active addiction and you overdose, 90% of the time, the people that you overdose around are not going to stick around and call the ambulance and try to get you well. There may be a few people that care about you enough to do that, but in most cases, you end up with no help whatsoever. And if nobody doesn't discover you or give you immediate help, you die. The sad thing is that people on addiction die every hour in the United States. This This recovery business is a billion-dollar business to help people live life on life's terms and to stop using and abusing drugs or alcohol. The sad thing is that a lot of people do not complete and finish the program of recovery. How do you finish the program of recovery? Is that you die clean and sober, that you die in your right mind, that you die living life on life's terms, that what brought you into addiction you do not use anymore, that you built a life in recovery for yourself. The sad thing is that we live in a world in the United States that everything is about a pleasure, enjoying yourself. You owe it to yourself. You work hard, you should be able to play hard. And our whole country's based on basically exploiting our pleasures and our enjoyments of life. And if we do not take stock in what we do, we can destroy ourselves. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that it's very important that if we have a problem, if you have a problem, just like I had a problem, and my pride and my pain kept me in my active addiction for 40 years. Until I got sick and tired of living the life that I was living. And I got sick and tired of feeling the way I felt. I got sick and tired of being alone and suffering. I got sick and tired of the thing living rent-free in my head, constantly coming back and destroying me and bringing me in emotional and mental pain. I got tired of that coming back over and over and over again. I got tired of living the pain of the past over and over again. I got tired of living what people have done to me over and over again. Until I addressed my addiction. I addressed it, and I seen what part Robert played in his active addiction. Also, I seen what part people played in the things they done to me and I done to them. Recovery taught me that I need to look at the situation honestly and openly and the way I was at that particular time when it happened. Now, when you look at a situation from the past, you are not in the past. You are in the present. So understand that, look at yourself and the frame of mind that you was in at that particular time, how you made the decision that you made to do what you did. And these are steps to make you understand yourself. You know, I had a conversation with a family, and they said their child was in active addiction and they don't know what to do. And they said that they seen some of my videos that nobody gets help until they choose to get help. And the only suggestion that I can make in that situation is for you need to open a line of communication with the child. That's not defensive, that they able to share their pain, what's going on with them, to you. To not be ashamed to share the things to you. And I remember this was a couple of years ago that a parent told me, she says, my child doesn't talk to me. And I said, do you have normal conversation, sits down with your child and see how they're doing for the day and let them express themselves and let them express their feelings and how they view things. And they said, well, yeah, we do. And then I tell them that they need to learn this, they need to learn that. They don't know what they're young. I said, well, then you put them automatically on the defensive. When you build trust with your child that they can have a conversation with you to express what they're feeling and what they're going through, and it's not going to be judged, then they're willing to be open with you. But if you come on them hard line as the parent and they're the child and they don't know what they're talking about, then what happens is they clam up. So when they have that sensitive conversation, they end up having that sensitive conversation with another youngster their age that's going to give them some advice that they're probably going to follow. And that's not the way we want a child to go. We want a child to be able to talk to us, express what's truly going on with them without being judged. And the formula I used to use for my stepchildren was that if you did this, this, and this will happen. If you do this, this, and this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. Now, if you do this, I'll help you. If you do this, I can't help you. And I was hardlined that way. And I got more respect out of my children than I realized because they would share what's going on with them and I would give them options. I never made decisions for them. I made them come to their own conclusion. And by me doing it that way, a lot of times they came with the right conclusion. A few times, no. But the point I'm trying to make is that they was willing to come to me and express what's going on with them honestly and openly and not feel judged or humiliated by making a mistake. You know, there's a lot of things going on with a child at a young age mentally. Their frontal lobe is getting rewired, and there's decision making, and all that's coming into play. And they need to be comfortable with all the changes that their body's going through to be able to express what's going through them, so we can allow them to be good, sound children and build them up to be some good, sound adults. And I believe if you allow children to constantly talk and express themselves, then you know what your child's up to, you know where they're at, you know where their mindset, and it'll help. And the sad thing is that the addiction system in the United States at the young age is very high. That children are getting loaded. A lot of young people are caught up in the fentanyl addiction. I've seen many places in Arizona where I see young people caught up in the fentanyl addiction. I've seen a lot of young girls out there working the streets because they need some more fentanyl. And this is the honest truth of what's going on in our world, in Arizona, but what I see. So we can get help now, or we can get help later, or we can die from an overdose, or we can end up in jail for the rest of our lives. Or jail can be a revolving door. The sad thing is that this is what addiction does. And we must understand ourselves in order to move forward in our recovery. Recovery teaches us to get rid of the wreckage of our past. That's the most important thing for us to do. To face what we did in our past, the mistakes that we made, and understand why we made those mistakes at that particular time in the mind frame that we was at that time. To understand ourselves. Because when we started using, we stopped growing. We stopped learning. We've been medicating ourselves. First it was for pleasure. Now it's a necessity. Now it's a need. And we're caught up in an active addiction of the wind world, of craziness, of uncertainty, of destroying our lives until our bodies can't take no more and we die. Recovery. So the point that I want to make is that let's get it today. Let's get recovery today. If you have a family member that's in active addiction, have a conversation, find out what's going on with them. Allow them to express their feelings, their pain, what's going on. Unjudgmental. We don't want to be judged. See, here's the thing. When I came into recovery and I was sharing my pain, nobody judged me for what I was experiencing or what I did or how I felt. But was told to me that it's going to get better. You're going to get better one day at a time. If you don't pick up, you'll get better, Robert, and your life will get better. When I express the trauma and the pain that I've experienced in my addiction, somebody explained their pain. And I didn't feel like an outcast. I didn't feel like separated, like I was the only one that was going through this. I was around like-minded people going through what I was going through, that held my hand, that hugged me and said it was going to be okay. In my addiction, there was nobody there to support me or to help me in the manner that I needed to be to get clean and sober until I came into the rooms of recovery. Now, the 12-step program worked for me on understanding who Robert was and why he got high in the first place. But there's so many other programs out there that help so many people. I'm not here to judge anybody's program whatsoever. I know what works for Robert. You need to find out what works for you. Because you're the most important person to yourself. You. So what you need to do is find out what works for you to make your life better. That you don't have to live in that addictive mindset. That you don't have to kind of manipulate to get more. Last but not least, recovery taught me how to live. Live a life without me smoking cocaine, freebasing. Because I'm messed up. Addiction messed me up. So I have to learn how to live life on life's terms. I must find out what works for Robert in his recovery. Robert has received inner peace, and happiness. I've gone far. My life is very much different from my addiction. And sometimes I smile and I laugh at it. And I'm happy. Because, see, I don't know about anybody else, but when I go to the store, I'm energized, I'm happy. When I go to Banner MD Anderson Cancer Center for my treatment, I'm happy, I'm in good spirits, I'm expressing positive feelings about recovery. Helping people along the way wherever I go and sharing about recovery. And I got a good feeling. And where I go, when I go to Banner Anderson, MD Anderson Cancer Center, they know me. They be laughing, they be smiling. How you doing? I'm doing great. Some people say, I'm glad to see you because you always put me in the right frame of mind. You make me feel good. You make me feel happy. And I'm happy because addiction didn't take my life. I survived. I survived 40 years worth of hell living this stuff in my head rent free over and over and over again, feeling the pain worser each time when it slaps me upside the head. And I would medicate myself more and more. Why do you think I was doing an ounce of cocaine in a 24-hour period? Because that stuff was living rent free in my head, wouldn't give me no rest until I put that drug in my system so it would disappear. So recovery taught me I had to face my fears. I had to look at my situations. I had to clean the wreckage of my past. I had to move forward in my recovery. Ask yourself this. Would you like to get recovery now or when the problems get worse, get recovery later? Or die in your addiction? The choice is you. You make the choice. I suggest that you get recovery now. There's a lot of information on YouTube. I'm not the only channel on YouTube about recovery. There are people that share more in depth than I do on recovery. There are more people on here that have a whole lot more followings than I do about recovery. Whether you watch my channel or somebody else's, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that you get recovery, that you reach out and do what you need to do to make your life better. And if you are a person that you have a child that's in active addiction or a family member that's in active addiction, do your research. Find out everything you can about addiction. Do your research so you understand exactly what that child is going through with their addiction. Yes, you got to go to school because doing your research is going to school. I learned in my recovery that I go to school every day. And since I've been doing live stream on YouTube now for a few years, and I'm on TikTok and Facebook, Instagram, and I keep doing research, that the desire and the knowledge that I'm getting is unbelievable about addiction and the things that I'm learning. And this information is keeping me clean and sober. This information that I'm learning is letting me understand myself better. Because to stay clean and sober, you must understand why you did the things you did, when you done them, at the particular time, why your mindset was feeling the way you was feeling, and why you went the direction that you went. What caused you to go into that direction? So you have a choice. You could get recovery today, or you can go through some pain and get it tomorrow. Or you can let addiction take you out and lose your life. Or you can let addiction send you to jail. The choice is totally up to you because it's your life, your way, your choice. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Stroke Staying Clean. I hope I shared some things that'll make you think that addiction is destroying people's lives. I want to be part of the solution. Do you want to be part of the solution? The choice is yours. You have a great and wonderful day.